Okay, so I am going to start my first tutorial. This is my first tutorial ever. So just letting you know that I'm very new at videotaping myself doing stuff because I am a visual learner and I learn things so much better by visualizing it. So I am not really a read the instructions kind of person. I am a YouTube and a Google girl. So I will find all kinds of videos of how to do things, and then I do those things, trial and error. I am getting ready to do an experiment of the feathering technique, and I'm not quite sure if you guys know what that is, but it's basically dropping alcohol inks into your resin and then kind of just letting the alcohol absorb into and create. If you leave it by itself, they merge together, all the different alcohol colors merge together and they create this really cool feathering technique. So let me know if you're interested in that, and I will videotape myself doing that, and we'll learn together. We'll see if it's a trial and error. We'll see if it works. Basically, your beginner's stuff that you need to have for your resin. I am in a very ventilated room. I have 2 windows that are literally right there. I have my gloves. Nitrile gloves are the best. Powder-free are awesome. I hate the ones with powder. I always have something to put my mold on. I have an old cookie sheet that I've put parchment paper on and then taped. I actually put duct paper from like your vinyl and everything. I put that on and like Scotch taped it and everything. So the reason being I love this is because if I drop any resin on it, I just leave it there and let it cure, and then it's really easy to just pick it right off of it. So it's always good to have something like that, and it's always good to have something that's level as well. I've got my mold, which I have an order for Domino's, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do my tutorial on that. I've got my measuring, it's a silicone measuring cup, my mixing sticks. I have a bigger, larger plastic cup. I get these at Walmart or Dollar Tree. I only pour everything into a bigger cup because my silicone cups only go to 100 ml and the Domino molds take 130. So it'll end up going in a bigger cup. My resin is here. I don't know if you can see it, if it's off camera a little bit, but it is actually in universal cups that are very, very hot water. And it's been sitting in here for about 20 minutes or so. I find, especially in Florida, when we have these cold snaps and everything, that it's much, much better to have your resin heat up a little bit before you start working with it. It is less bubbles. I have alcohol spray, which I will show you what that is for. It is 91% isopropyl alcohol. You can get that at Walmart as well. And yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and I have a heat gun as well. I think that's all we need. We'll find out if I need anything else, but I think that that's all that we need. So we're gonna go ahead and start. Like I said, I know that my Dominoes take about 130. So what I'm gonna do is 140, just to be on the safe side. This is also a great thing. Always have a mold handy to put your leftover resin, because I never ever like to waste resin. So there, I'll have something for my leftover resin. So I'm going to go ahead and do 70-70 for this. It doesn't matter which one you start with. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I like to start with the regular first before I do the hardener, but it really does not matter. We'll take our caps off of our resin. And if you have any questions that I don't cover in this, you know, just let me know. I'm new to this, but I have been doing it so much that there might be some things that I do and you're wondering why I'm doing that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm holding my silicone cup up to the light because that makes it easier for you to see the lines when you're measuring. When you measure your resin, make sure that you measure it absolutely accurately. So I'm right now hitting the 60 line and right on the tap of the 70. So yep, make sure that you have both parts equally measured. If you mess up on that, that will affect your cure. It can cause them to there's all different factors that it can actually cause, but your main one is that they won't cure correctly and they'll just always be bendy and it'll make for a mess. So what I'm doing is scraping real good on my cup. Okay, and now I'm going in with my hardener, putting it up to the light to make sure that I get right on that 70 line again, right past the 60. The hardener sometimes pours slower, so yep, that's right on the 70. And actually something new that I've been doing, and I didn't used to do this, is I kind of leave just a tad of the hardener still in the cup so that the hardener and the regular will mix together. The epoxy and the hardener will mix together a little bit, and then I just let it kind of cure and peel it off of my cup. That's the best thing to do with resin. You don't want your resin to go down the sink. So you want to make sure that you either throw it away, or you scrape it really good and you throw it away, or let it cure and then you can just peel it off. It's an easier one. Right now I'm doing a mix. When you mix, you're going to mix forever, basically, it seems like, but you're going to mix until it's no longer cloudy. I don't know if you can see in here or not, but we've got like a cloudy streak. So you're gonna wanna mix that until it turns clear. You also are going to want to mix slowly. If you're very aggressive with your stirring, it will cause bubbles. You want to stir only one way. You don't want to stop and then stir counterclockwise. Right now I'm stirring clockwise. You don't want to stop and turn and do counterclockwise. That will also cause bubbles. Basically, you want to do it just as slow as possible, but getting a good stir in there. I used to, when I was a beginner, really big beginner, I used to put a timer on and stir just for the time that it told me on the instructions. That is not the case. Sometimes it's a little bit longer. So, and I also, my instructions sometimes tell me to do this and then to pour it into another cup and stir it again. I don't do that. I find that most resins are exactly the same and they still will work just as well if you do just one pour and you're stirring constantly in that one pour. Again, I don't know when I'm holding this up, I don't know if you're seeing anything or not, but it is actually getting much, much clearer. So I'm just going to keep on stirring. There are some bubbles, but that's okay. It's absolutely okay because we're going to take care of those bubbles. Most of the time, I don't even really worry about just a few little bubbles when I'm going to color my resin. The main time when I worry about bubbles in my resin is when I need to do something that's clear. That's when I start worrying a little bit that I have too many bubbles. But yeah, it looks like it's getting really, really clear, which is awesome. Just go around the sides again. Yeah, it is really, really clear. So at this point, I'm at a point where I'm going to go ahead and mix my powder. I use mica powder. I do Middle Coast. This is Sunburst. I'm actually doing a set of Miami Hurricane dominoes for an order. So I'm going to put in my Sunburst, which makes a really, really pretty orange, and that's going to be our base for our dominoes. I might actually put just a little bit more just because that's a lot of resin. And I want to make a really nice gold. I mean, not gold, a nice orange color. So now the mica powder, you want to mix it really good. That's why I stopped stirring and put in my powder, because I am going to do a little bit more additional mixing. You're going to want to mix this baby for a little while, and even when it looks like all of the powder is settled and done, you're still going to want to mix it just a little bit longer, because this mica powder does have clumps in it. And when those clumps go into molds or dominoes, things like that, sometimes you can see the clumps and it just doesn't make it as attractive of a pour and design as if it didn't have clumps and was nice and smooth. You can see right there, really, really pretty orange. Hopefully every time that I'm holding this up, we can actually see something. But it's got a really, really pretty orange that we're going to go ahead and do. Because I heated my resin up a little bit early to make it, less bubbles and everything, that means, though, that I'm going to want to pour it rather quickly. Because if I don't, it'll start curing and hardening, and I'm actually going to move this over so that I've got a little bit of elbow room. It's going to start curing it and hardening quicker, and I don't want that to happen. So I pour, this is going to be a bottom coat. I'm actually putting other things on top of it. So all I do is make sure that it coats the bottom. Yeah. Make sure that I don't pour too much, but like I said, I do want to pour it quickly because I don't want it to harden or cure before I finish pouring it in all 28 slots. I've seen a few of our Universally Crafted members start to do dominoes. Holler at me if you're finding some extra fun techniques to do. I have been doing sports ones right now, have been the huge sellers for us. We have a booth that we sell our dominoes at every Saturday, and yeah, we've had lots of good ones. We've had the Tampa Bay Bucks, we've had Jags, we've done some Alabama ones, we have this Hurricanes. I just finished a set of Chicago Bears, so if I get a chance in this video, I'll show you what those look like. But yeah, it's been fun, and those have been a real big hit, especially around Central Florida, because there's so many sports teams and so many things that you can do. We actually did a sample of the Solar Bears. I'm a big hockey fan, and so that was a fun set to do. It actually had orange in the bottom of it, and then a little purple layer on it as well. Yeah, we're doing really good with our resin right now. Normally it would be around this time or so that I would start either running out of resin because I didn't measure correctly, or it would start acting like it was going to cure on me, which is no fun. Holler at me if you've ever been one of those that's trying to beat the clock and trying to pour your resin so quickly, and you're finding it sticky and tacky, and you're like, oh my God, please, I need one more, please. Yeah, I've done that on a couple of domino sets as well. So I'm like, I just need a little bit more, stop. This has been really good. This is doing really well. I'm really, really happy with this color too. This will be a really perfect one. Yeah, and I think that I mentioned this is a Miami Hurricanes. So this will have the orange right here. And what I normally do with my dominoes is I like to make sure that they are fully cured. So I will let it stay all day, and probably it's almost 1 o'clock. So yeah, I probably won't do anything with it until tomorrow. And then tomorrow I'll put a thin layer of green on top, and then actually this one is the one that I have to have a 4 pour on. We're actually doing a very thin layer of green, and then we're doing a very thin layer of white, and then we're putting our logo on top of that with a clear layer. So yeah, so this, I probably shouldn't have poured these as much as I did, but oh well, it'll work. And now I just like to, sometimes I like to look back and see if there's any of them that are too poured or not enough poured, but they all look really good. So yeah, I'm just going to put the rest of my resin in here. And what I really love about doing the plastic cups, I can right now feel the resin too, by the way. Sorry for interrupting my other thought, but I can feel the resin hot. It's hot. So that's your first inkling that it's going to set soon and cure up on you. But back to my other thought, I love using plastic cups because then all you have to do is ditch them in the trash. You don't have to, I am a saver. I love to save things, but I will not save, dollar plastic cups. That to me is okay to get rid of. So yeah. I will probably, that's a pretty rock gem mold. See, and there's my first little drip of resin that you'll get to see later on, after we do everything. But yeah, I'll just let that dry, and then I'll just peel it up. It'll be an easy peel. I know that you guys just wanted the basics, so this is pretty much the basics for your resin. Right now, I don't have any bubbles showing at the surface, but if you were to, that's where your heat gun comes in. Just do a little swoop over it. Not too much because you don't want to activate your resin, but also another awesome tool. And why, you say, Jen, why did you show us the alcohol in the beginning? Well, believe it or not, if you have bubbles form, a spritz of alcohol, and it does not hurt your resin at all, but a spritz of alcohol will take your bubbles out of your molds. As long as it's not set yet. It still will do it even when it's tacky. If you come back in an hour or so and it's tacky, you can still spray the alcohol. So what I like to do, especially when I do my dominoes and I do my final layer where I have a clear coat on the top, I like to just sit there, and every 5 minutes I'll just spray them with alcohol. And this was a trick that I found on YouTube to spray with the alcohol. It has to be 91%. It can probably be 100%, but it can't be what is normally in the store. I think is like 70% or so. It has to at least be 91%. And yeah, you can spray it all on the top, and it activates in your resin and makes your bubbles pop and disappear. So that's basically the 101 basics on resin. Whenever you're touching resin, please, 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 please use gloves. If you by chance get some on your hands, the easiest way to get it off is actually hand sanitizer. If you put a good glob of hand sanitizer on your hands and you go to the sink and you start, doing your hands around, you'll actually feel the resin turn into little balls and everything, and then use hot water and soap and then go ahead and wash your hands. That's the easiest way that I found to get resin off of your hands, and it works perfectly. Whenever you're finished with your stuff, make sure that you close up your epoxy and your hardener and get rid of everything that you have, like your disposables, throw those in the trash and everything. Another great tip is if you have small children or you have animals in your house, please, 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 please use your resin in a room that they are not in. It is very, very, very bad. It's very dangerous. And in fact, I just saw on one of my groups that her cat passed away because her cat went into her crafting room, and somehow, some way, she didn't know what had happened to her cat. Her cat passed. And when she was feeling the cat's paws, she felt hardened resin on the paws. So the cat probably got into the resin and was trying to lick its paws, and yeah, it poisoned and killed the cat. So it is very, very toxic for animals, and it's very toxic for small children as well. Even you, it's toxic for. So like I said, make sure that you have a very ventilated area that you're working in. You are not working with Play-Doh. You are actually working with very toxic materials. So you want to be 100% safe there. Okay, so that's it for right now. Oh, I did want to show you the domino. Yeah, so this is the Chicago Bears dominoes that we did. So yeah, we do a solid layer here, which is our orange here. And then if you see, there is a strip of orange there for the second layer. And then you put your image on, and then you put your clear layer. The clear layer is usually the one that forms the bubbles as well. So, yeah, and like I said, I'm going to be doing a feathered technique with alcohol inks if you guys are interested in a tutorial of that. I have also been kind of experimenting with some ocean themes. This is just wood ornaments that I got off of Amazon. I got them for a great deal. They were like 30 pieces of them for like $8. It was one of Brad's deals, one of his lightning deals that he had, and put blue and white resin and did kind of like the foaming effect. And I actually did use real sand. I know that you're probably not supposed to use real sand, or I know that Joann's and Michael's has things that are sand-like materials, but I used real sand and then some seashells and everything. And I was going to put a magnet on the back. I was even thinking of maybe putting some kind of beach saying on it, like beach vibes or something like that. And they'll make really cute magnets. So yeah, I'm still fairly new, but I've been trying different techniques and everything. These are my molds like this that I had just poured my extra resin in. So yeah, I pour my extra resin in these molds, and then I put clear on top of that, and it gives it a cool, like quartz, you know, rock kind of vibe on it. So yeah, there's all kinds of cool things that you can do. If you guys are interested in other tutorials, if you're interested in seeing what these dominoes are going to look like, or the finishing process of the dominoes, I would be so happy to do that as well. See, I was messing with my sand and a little flake came off on my domino, but I got those. So yeah, oop, another one. Yeah, so if you guys are interested in seeing some other stuff, or if you're interested in seeing the rest of the domino tutorial, just let me know and I will continue on and show you the rest. But right now, that is the basics. I had some foam showing up. That's the basics on Resin 101. Thanks for watching.